Hej Skipoli. I have some quick notes for you so that you can sort of understand parts of our passages that we'll come across. Sometimes Romans got a little lazy and they didn't want to write out the whole name in a passage or on an inscription or on anything else that they might be writing, maybe official records and things like that. They didn't want to write it out. So for really popular names, they would yep, that was my cat screeching. Okay. Um, they would just abbreviate them with usually the first letter, first couple letters of the name. And so I need you to be very careful when you come across these and not get them confused with other ones. Like the C ones are really annoying. An early form of Gaius and Gnaeus started with C's instead of G's. Therefore, the abbreviation starts with C's. It's kind of annoying. So take a second. If you need to pause the video, go ahead. But I want you to have this rather extensive list of name abbreviations. It's in your book, but this is actually a little better. I have a few more here. You will notice that it's only the basic names that they would abbreviate. If anybody would have a slightly longer name like Quintilius or Octavianus, Servilius, Sextilius, you've heard. Ugh, Sextilius, poor guy. Um, Tiberinus is the god of the Tiber River. So that's a less popular name. It's not just the basic form, as are Servilius and Sextilius and so on. So those basic names are the only ones that are abbreviated. If there's anything different, it needs to be written out. So make sure you have this list. Like I said, the weird ones are C stands for Gaius, CN stands for Gnaeus, and you'll see this throughout the year in the passages, and even more importantly, I think you will see it in inscriptions out in the world. One of my favorite inscriptions is, or one of my favorite buildings, as you both probably know by now, is the Pantheon, and you can see these abbreviations on the front of the Pantheon. I should have pulled that up, but I didn't, and I don't know what's on my browser right now, so I think it's just school stuff, but oh well, we won't go look. So there's the first part. Get those names and know those abbreviations, because it is on your quiz, I believe, as well. So the second part here, I want to talk about the three parts of Roman names. Now, just keep in mind that this is only for men, because only men could be Roman citizens. Only men needed the three names to distinguish them among the other men in the in Rome, of course. So let me see what I need. Let's do a number list. So the first name that you're going to see in a Roman name is their praenomen. This is their first or personal name. We consider it the first name, but they would call it something like a personal name. It's only for you. It was chosen by your parents, kind of thing. So this one actually is not used very much. We primarily use this one, where the Romans did not. Only close friends and family would call you by your praenomen, your first name. If you remember in the Ecce stories, the only person that calls Cornelius, the father, Gaius, is his brother Titus. So his brother Titus, his name is Titus Cornelius. So people that don't know him very well or answer to him, like his slaves and whatnot, call him Cornelius as well. So the praenomen is just for your close friends and family more than anything. The second one, that's just your nomen, the plain one, and this is backwards from what we think. We think your plain name is your first name, your personal name. The Romans thought it was their plain name was their family name, the one that they are called by the most and identified by the most. Now, to us, this is our last name. But it's not a one-to-one translation. So yeah, we use our last names in like certain social situations, the first thing that comes to mind is like a football team calling people by their last name. It's not quite like that. So don't think of the one-to-one translation, everybody calling Cornelius Cornelius. It's not that they are, you know, being friendly or being informal. They are doing quite the opposite. They are being more formal. Um, but this is the name Roman men want to go by. They take time to trace their lineage back using this name, so this is the one they usually want people to use. The last one, the cognomen. You have two possibilities for how this name is acquired. And this is not one that you're born with, usually. It's possible. Think of this more as a middle name. So this is like our middle name. And some people just don't have middle names in our society, and that's okay. My mom doesn't have a middle name, but my stepdad has two. So it was the same way for the Romans. They might not have a cognomen, but maybe they would have four of them, and that's where you hear the really nice Roman names. We've got, I'm trying to think of a good long one. I can't think of one right now. Oh well. Scipio's is really good, but I can't think of his second one. So, oh well. So the reasons you'd be given this name. It might be used to distinguish people with the same common names, okay? So to distinguish between others with the same name. Okay, so there are lots of Corneliuses around in the Roman Empire, so they would, there's probably a lot of Gaius Corneliuses in the Roman Empire as well, so we can't use the praenomen and the nomen to distinguish you. You need a third one, so you could change that third name to make you to show that you're different than the Gaius Cornelius that lives in the house 3 doors down. So that's one reason you would get this name or use this name. And your parents could give you this name, or you could get it later and add it on. It could start as a nickname sometimes. And our Cornelius, he he has a cognomen, but they don't tell you what it is. I don't think they do anyway. But they tell us as if it's like a real thing. They tell the teachers in the teacher guide. It's really funny. So these could start as a nickname or be earned. So if you would earn these, it's like Scipio. He is his last cognomen is Africanus. So you know after you hear his name that he conquered something or he won a battle in Africa. So Africanus is a descriptor, but it's also used to distinguish him as the person who conquered someone in Africa. So that's a fun example. There are lots of things like that. Now think about Julius Caesar. If he would have done that for every place he conquered, he'd have a name 3 miles long. So it didn't happen all the time, and I think we defer back up to this one if it was needed to distinguish between others, because Scipio had family members that had the exact same name as him, so that Africanus really helped a lot. Okay, so Cornelius, this is funny. The Ecce Cornelius that we know and love, or well, we know him. He's not my fave character. His full name is Gaius, you know that part, Cornelius. We know that part way too well. Calvus. So I want you to, this one's like laid out really nicely. The praenomen is Gaius, the nomen is Cornelius, and the cognomen is Calvus. This is one that started out as a nickname and turned into a distinguishing name for him to be different from the other Gaius Corneliuses in the world. So I want you to find out what Calvus means and decide if it is a fitting descriptor of Cornelius. You might need a real dictionary, but probably not. Your Latin 4 book will probably do the trick. Alright, that's all I have for you for Roman names. That took way longer than I was expecting, but oh well. Um, make sure you know those for the quiz coming up, and also just to get through the passages and inscriptions you might see out in the world. Alright, well, straw out.